Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Weeb Weekly. I am Nick C. Comedy, and I am joined by our ever breaking it down Jose. He is trapped in an infinite loop of dancing, everyone. It's a fun fact about Jose. How we doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing perfectly happy. I got my boy. I got my boy Snorlax celebrating
For
the
those of you, yes.
dub.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
He seems
Me
like he'd
too.
be a good pillow.
Oh, he is. It's technically meant to be a pillow. It is exactly the same brand of pillow that I have for my footrest. So I can technically
Ooh.
sit on Snorlax. But
Nice.
y'all are gonna have to subscribe to my OnlyFans for that. Mizu, how are you doing,
Yes.
baby?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing great. I can't wait to talk about the what if.
Yeah. So that is what we got. I mean, I don't know how I was gonna wrap like this into an OnlyFans reference here, but yeah, since we are
For
talking,
real.
I was trying to think of a segue with the OnlyFans. I got nothing. But since we are talking what if, yes, we had a big episode and a very critically acclaimed episode. Like
Yes.
of all the episodes, which is weird, I feel like this one is probably the most talked about. Probably because it was the most fucking tragic of all of the what if episodes, and I don't think I understood like necessarily what to expect going into this episode. I was like, oh, zombie hunter, like, oh, maybe they'll like find the cure for everyone, and it'll be like, oh, remember when you were a zombie, Tony, you almost bit me. But no, it entered with the murdering of started with the murdering of the Avengers like 35 seconds in. That was dark, deep, and scary. Where does it rank for you guys in terms of the what if episodes?
Oh, I'm gonna start out by saying this might be
Uh-huh.
um the second best episode.
I
I
can
think
get
it's the
behind
second
that
best.
take.
I think it has to be Doctor Strange episode. This one, I really like the Doctor Strange episode. Like,
Oh,
just
I'm
in
sorry,
terms of
I'm not hearing T'Challa as Star Lord anywhere.
I was gonna put it. I was gonna put it at third. The thing is that, like, okay, we have to talk about this. Like, are we ranking this based on like emotional appeal or like story? Because if you think about it, the Doctor Strange episodes has even higher stakes than the T'Challa episode, because while he does like change the narrative of the multiverse, we can see Strange Supreme in the MCU now. Like, we can see him because he survived the universe exploding. Like, he's alive, and apparently he's gonna show up in another episode. Yeah, his universe collapsed, but he's just tormented to stay
So
in
he
this,
just
like,
he just lives in nothingness.
yeah. He's like the Big Bang essentially, but I mean that's a pretty big bang
Shit.
to have. Yeah, and
So he's essentially
it's
the
apparently
Phoenix Force.
yeah, and he's apparently supposed to show up in another episode. So I'm like, okay, if he's showing up in another episode and this is canon to the MCU.
Mhm.
I see Multiverse of Madness just around the corner. You could tease him if you want. I mean,
So how would that work into the timeline there, though? Because now, so what are we now considering that what if is going to bleed into the MCU movies?
I think so, because the Watcher's coming in. Like, Jeffrey Wright is going to be making an appearance as Uatu in the Uatu in the MCU moving forward. Because I think it's a pretty solid character. One, in the multiverse, he's the one that like saves civilizations from dying, so it kind of makes sense for him to show up.
Interesting. Okay.
So
why didn't he help Strange Supreme?
because he's not supposed to intervene.
Of course.
He's not supposed
Just makes
to.
it hotter when he does.
Air quotes, everybody.
Of
Air
course.
quotes. You
Yeah,
gotta see us
heavy
on
on the
YouTube
air
too.
quotes.
Gotta see us on YouTube too to get the visuals.
Of course. So you think that we're going to get the Strange Supreme? So that's why that would be your favorite episode then, is
Yes.
because of the down screen repercussions of the possibility of Strange Supreme entering. Okay.
And-
What about you, Mizu?
Oh yeah.
Oh, and
No, I was gonna say that, like, I honestly felt that the Chadwick episode was more of an homage, and the Doctor Strange episode was a character study. So I'm a big proponent for like character studies. So I really like that one. The Marvel Zombies just was an amazing premise, and it delivered. So I was like really happy about that. How about you, Mizu?
I'll definitely say this Marvel Zombies episode is, I'll say top 5 or at least top 3 for me.
I would hope it'd be top 5. There's only been 6 episodes.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna get 9.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but of course we could have got 10, but they production wise they couldn't fit the 10th episode in there. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be in season 2. But the top 3 for me so far is, I'll say, the T'Challa Star-Lord one, only because I like that one, the Doctor Strange one, and the zombie one, all because it's different. Like it's different. The
Yeah.
other ones are still good, but they felt very grounded, which is not bad. Like it's
Mhm.
good to have grounded, logical, like what ifs. But I like how these three in particular just went on a whole different direction.
Oh yeah.
Think about it. T'Challa somehow convinced Thanos, the main bad guy, to be part of his team. Like you wouldn't expect that kind of thing to happen.
Yep.
And or the same thing we saw with Nebula. Basically, all the bad guys who were supposed to be bad guys in the original timeline are all good guys on T'Challa's team. So I thought that was cool. Um, Doctor Strange, like you said, the character study, seeing him go down this dark path and obtain this dark magic to save the person he loves. And then, of course, the Marvel Zombie episode, which the biggest highlight I'll say about this episode is that it gave basically all the side characters from the MCU the chance to the chance to shine. Well, of course, with the exception of Spider-Man, of course. But besides that, almost every other character you wouldn't expect, who's like kind of like a side character, showed up in this movie and was kind of killing it.
I'm gonna need you to elaborate how Spider-Man didn't shine here. You just shocked Jose.
Oh no, I didn't say as in like he's a main character. I said as in he's a popular character. He's not a side character.
Yeah.
I wouldn't classify Spider-Man as a side character.
No, yet.
Okay. All right, cool. Jose's eyes went so offended so immediately. It was terrifying.
I wasn't offended because of the fact that it's Spider-Man. I just thought that, like, since we got a lot of, I mean, we had a couple of moments where he was like about to bite the bullet, and they were just like, nah, bro, we need the special moment in the middle of the episode for him. The emotional.
What do you mean the special moment in the middle of the episode?
when he's talking to Hope? So okay, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. I mean, it's been a couple days.
Timestamps for a reason.
Yes, there's a moment, right? The emotional core of this episode is loss, right? Dealing with loss very quickly because it's survival. It's kill or be killed at this moment, right? And Hope Van Dyne is about to die because she got cut by one of the zombies, right? And they're deciding, as in all typical zombie movies, like, what are we gonna do? You're about to turn into a zombie. What the fuck is happening?
Cut off the arm.
Yeah. And like she's saying like get rid of me, like I don't serve any purpose. And like Spider-Man basically says like, look, I've been dealing with loss all my life, like with Uncle Ben, May, my father, like Tony, Mr. Stark. So like, first of all, we get our first mention of Uncle Ben in the MCU, which is pretty dope because that's a big part of his character. I double checked because I thought he did it in Homecoming, and he does not mention Uncle Ben in Homecoming. So there's Uncle Ben is officially in the MCU because of What If, so that's pretty dope. And the second part is
if you don't count Into the Spider-Verse, which isn't technically MCU. So yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I feel like there was a lot of emotional moments in this episode, which I think we can discuss. The first and biggest one of all, the biggest one of all, the meaty one, bro, is Bucky. Bucky literally sending Captain America to the Shadow Realm, bro. that was wild.
Here's the thing: a lot for the fact that they were looking for a cure, right? Hypothetically, to like bring everyone back. They were deleting their friends expeditiously. Like, it was like, we're looking for a cure. Iron Man gets like gouged in the beginning. Like everybody, yeah, they cut off Iron Man's head. Like all of it. Like, it was like Spider-Man like killed Iron Man, you know? Like, it was like, that was one of your confidants. That was one of your closest friends. You know, Bucky kills Cap and doesn't feel a thing. I think there was a moment in the train station where they were like, I feel like I should be sad. Well, Falcon, where they kill Falcon. Yeah. Bucky kills Falcon. He's like, I feel like I should be sad, but I'm not. And I was like, you guys are deleting the possibility of these people being healed. Like, you are. It's just like with the last episode. With also, this has been twice now that Hank Pym has been the bad guy, which is kind of wild, right? Like what's with the Hank Pym erasure here? Why is he the new Thanos? But no, it was incredible and it was insane. You say that the core tenement of the episode was lost, though, and that's the thing is, they didn't feel to me like they were losing their friends because they were just wiping. I mean, I guess because they'd probably been in the zombie apocalypse for like months now, right? So they just lost the feeling of these people being people at all. What music?
apparently it's only been 2 weeks. If you go back and watch it, apparently it's only been 2 weeks and it's spread like that. And I think, and they explained that it spread that fast because once the
Of the
Avengers all
Avengers.
got bitten, then it was like, oh yeah, everybody and the mother was getting turning to zombies and stuff. So, but yeah, definitely on that last part. But I think the only reason why, because at that time, they didn't know that there was going to be a cure. Like it was tossed up in the air. But as soon as they got that what's it called, that beacon or that signal coming off, no, or you could say as soon as they met Vision, that's like, oh, it's a possibility. Beforehand, they were just like, there's no way. And hey, if they're dead, they're dead. And you could make the argument with the Bucky part where he says, I should be sad, but I'm not. That's also because this is around the timeline of Civil War, or like during Civil War, pre, kind of post. It all depends. I don't know. Basically around that Civil War time.
He still got long hair.
Yep. So with that being said, like he didn't develop that relationship he had with Bucky and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So of course they're right now they're like, oh, I don't really care for the dude so much. Like only Cap cared for him. I just met you, bro. So But one thing I will say about this episode is how, I wouldn't say 100%, but I like there were a lot of comic book Easter eggs to the actual Marvel Zombies comic book.
Like what?
For example, the whole T'Challa being used as zombie food, that happened in the comics.
That's true.
See, why, if you could use anyone, why use T'Challa? Like why are we like using him like Boarhead's ham to feed Scarlet Witch? Like it could have been anyone. Why are we using T'Challa?
The only difference is, I would say, is that it wasn't Vision who was feeding him to Wanda.
Okay.
It was, I think it was somebody totally different, the person he was feeding to, but it was actually Ant-Man who was feeding T'Challa, or at least it wasn't his leg, but it was his arm in the comics.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who he was feeding him to. I don't think it was anybody particular. I think he was just trying to use him to get a better understanding of how to cure all the zombies and stuff. But besides that, and the whole Hank thing you said about Hank Pym being a villain. I mean, he is kind of a villain in the comic books. The man made some shady decisions, and I like how they're showing that off in these what ifs.
Like Pym particles are like a terrifying possibility, especially if you can go like subatomic, you know. And so, but my thing is like hypothetically, if we're talking MCU heroes, right? I was actually thinking, I was like, who would actually make it? And I'm thinking it's mostly the suit heroes, right? So like Black Panther makes a lot of sense. If you have to be bitten or scratched, Black Panther, there's no one better than him. So it makes sense that he was alive. And like Vision, obviously being an android, it makes sense that he was alive. But like, if Hank Pym is just flying around biting people, how is Spider-Man still out there?
That's the thing that I didn't get. Like the zombies are surprisingly sentient for being zombies. Like they all use their power. Like Iron Man was using his powers, no problem.
Yep.
And Iron Man is technically.
How did Iron Man get bit? How did Iron Man get bit? Full iron suit. How did he get bit?
Well, I think they did have at that point. Okay, I'm trying to think like timeline wise, because like at the beginning of the episode, who was chilling with Iron Man? It was Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It was Doctor Strange, bro.
That is a problem. That's a problem. Who could also use sling rings and all that? Like it was like,
bruh.
Like how is the only thing they're losing like their will to talk? Like everyone can still use their powers and all of that. Like it is definitely problematic. But it raises the question: if you guys had to take one superhero with you into the end, like the zombie apocalypse, who are you taking?
Thor.
But he can get bit.
Oh, well.
He can get bit easy as anyone. Also, he wasn't in this episode.
No, Thor and Captain Marvel were the only ones that were not, like, from the movies that were not in the...
TBH, though, they saw, like, everything that was going off and probably just like, I'm out, just off Earth. They're like, nope, I'm good.
I mean, considering what we saw in the last 5 seconds of the episode, I don't think they can hide. After this episode, in the next 30 minutes, I think they would have probably had a nice little visit.
So here's the thing, though. Like, so Thanos becomes a zombie, and he still has the exact same goal in mind.
Big facts.
So here's the thing. Funny enough that y'all mentioned that in the comics, they also were able to use their powers, and they're actually even more sentient in the comic books to a point where they can even talk. But the difference, what made them different is that, of course, they look like zombies, they're rotten flesh and all that stuff, and they can still communicate with you. However, they had the insatiable hunger to eat
human flesh. Yeah.
So like one of the darkest parts in the comics is where Peter actually becomes a zombie. Spider-Man becomes a zombie, and he knows that he's a zombie and he's sentient. He knows what he's doing, but he can't control his body. So he tells like Mary Jane and them to run, but he ends up eating Mary Jane, and he notices that, and he's crying as he's eating her. And then he tells Aunt May to run away, but Aunt May just some reason locks herself in the bathroom, and eventually Spider-Man gets to her. So
you're telling me Spider-Man's able to get through a door? No way. Spider-Man can break down a wooden door. Like, that's not going to stop the dude who is like incredibly strong. He literally he did 4,000 pounds of tension on a train. He's getting through your lock. I'm sorry.
Dude, so overall, I mean, it's pretty accurate. The only thing I'll say that the show did not do is that they didn't talk. Mm-hmm. That was the only part that was missing. They could talk. It was just like, I could be like talking to you right now, but I'll still be trying to eat you.
Yeah, of course.
I could still be sentient, but my body's doing a different thing, pretty much. That was pretty much the gist of it in the comics.
Damn, that's fucking savage. Dude. It was like I overall I really enjoyed it because I enjoy gorier, darker stuff. I mean, it's like a large part of my personality. And so I thought the episode was great. I just definitely, I mean, that's the thing is like, now I want episode 2. I want part 2 of that. Like, what happens with Thanos? Also, why did Thanos have all 5 of the stones if we're talking Civil War? Like, right? Like, I got a lot of questions.
Because he does have 5. He needs the last one, which they are bringing to him, which is freaking horrifying.
But yeah, he didn't have the Soul Stone when he was down there. And I could be wrong. I think I think it's not Civil War anymore, because in the beginning we see Hulk be taken by the Bifrost. So it's fitting. It's Infinity War.
Yeah.
It's you're right. That's Ragnarok. Yeah.
War,
yeah. And then my last thing is, if literally Scarlet Witch would be everyone's last hope, because Scarlet Witch could just erase that curse. She could just erase zombie. She could just be like, no more zombie. Like at least comic book accurate Scarlet Witch. Like who can say no more mutants and then delete the entire mutant verse? Like, is your genuine best hope there? And she can just be like, no more. Like, she can just speak things into existence.
She was mad as fuck. She was mad AF, bro.
This whole entire episode proved again that Wanda is too powerful. Each movie, each whatever TV show, they just keep showing off how strong she is. And I'm just sitting here like, holy crap. We need to keep Wanda in check just a little bit.
Menace to society.
Good side.
Menace to society, bro.
Because she can delete just everything and anybody at any given moment. I mean, like I said, fun episode, really cool. I want a part 2. Unfortunately, we'll never get it. So I'm just going to assume they're all dead. Thanos snapped away the entire... Or, what do you think Thanos wishes for? Just like all the food? He's like, I want like this like hunger like sated.
If I were Thanos, mm-hmm. At that point, the thing is like we don't know how sentient they are. That's the thing. Like we know, because they know they're not just at least the Avengers are not just fighting to fight. They're like the zombies in the What If show are not just fighting to eat. They're they're fighting tactically. So they have to have some goal, some goal in mind, because like they infect, but at the same time they can't help Thanos, because like for example the zombies that are in Wakanda are technically not helping Thanos, because they don't like the emissions from the stones. They don't like the cosmic radiation that's coming from the stones. That's what we learned from Vision. So like they're technically just trying to get out. They're literally playing Get Out with the force field in Wakanda. So I don't know what I would wish for. If I were Thanos, I'd probably like double the food. It would be double the food.
I mean, that's what he should have wished for originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
It'd be funny if he did the opposite.
Captain
He was like less food. Or it's like, he's like saved the all it took was zombification for Thanos to be a good guy. But yeah, I mean, since we are talking zombies, we do have a what if. We have a what if adjacent. Stack them up this week, and actually, guys, a little bit of news coming from us. So One, we are now going to be reading some ads in the future. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten the ads for this week. So if you hear me advertising sports betting, just want you to know, like, there's not a gun to my head. We're being paid for these things. And two, speaking of monetization, we are actually going to be splitting this current show into 2 shows. And before you're like, oh my God, the band's breaking up. That's not what's happening. Essentially, guys, we are going to be chatting about things that happen in the cinematographic world. Like What If, like MHA, like Bad Batch, like the
Pop
movies.
culture, just pop culture in general.
Culture is all going to be chatted about on the Weeb Weekly. That's going to stay free, guys. But we are also going to be popping up a Patreon. And the Patreon is going to be holding the things like our Stack 'em Up. And like our interviews that we're going to be doing with, I believe we have Darth Choco and HK Anime coming up in the future. So those interviews and those kinds of things are going to be going on to a Patreon, the Weeb Weekly Patreon, and that'll be popped up here shortly. So if you guys want to support us monetarily, we're also looking into acquiring merch. Supporting us on the Patreon is really the best way to do it. We're not going to really be changing what you guys are getting. If you guys love the Weeb Weekly, it's not going anywhere, but there is a way to now support us, and that would be the Patreon, which will be up shortly. But yes, that is before we get into the Stack 'em Up, which will now soon be in the Patreon. So this is, I guess you could say, the last free one, unfortunately. So with that said, here we are. We are talking the best zombie movies of all time. And apparently we have more people who have seen 70s and 80s movies than we thought in our fan base. And Jose took away the lead very definitively. Now the score is 3 for Mizu, 2 for me, 2 for Jose. Apparently, Bruce Lee still does numbers in 2021. Jose, you want to talk about it?
Bruce Lee always does numbers, bro. Even when he's
That's
losing to Brad Pitt. Even when he's losing to Brad Pitt, I am excited for Bruce.
From the what's it
Once
called?
Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time. Bruce Lee.
Oh, gotcha.
Bruce Lee loses against Brad
I was
Pitt.
like, you've lost me.
Yeah, no, hey, it's all good. Another a movie reference.
I was going to say, the only fight he ever lost was to Advil.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
I'm sorry, too
Oh,
soon?
you bastard!
Is that too soon?
You inglorious bastard.
He's been dead 30 years. We can joke about it.
It is never too soon. It is never.
Oh.
It's
No,
never too soon.
I'm not gonna lie. When you say that, I think about the Ever rap battles. He said,
Oh
"You
yeah.
can't be too tough. You get killed by an aspirin."
By an aspirin. Yeah. What was it? It was him versus Chuck Norris or something?
Oh
Yep.
my god.
Oh, God, I missed those. That's early YouTube.
That's
God, that was good
early,
content.
bro. And oh my god, the epic rap battles are still going on, and I'm so happy.
No fucking way.
Yeah, they had
There's
a
so many.
hiatus. They had a.
Yo, there's so many.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
I might get back into that tonight. I might just. My girlfriend was showing me like Chinese like competition, like singing shows last night. Now I'm gonna show her my culture.
Oh, for
To
sure.
show her
dude.
epic rap battles.
Epic rap battles. Dude,
Bill
I still
O'Reilly
know
versus
some.
John Lennon.
I still know some. Like I know some of them by dude. I
yeah.
love the Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama. I almost know that shit word for word,
yep.
bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking lit. But yes, what I was gonna say is thank you to everybody that voted on a very impromptu, I would say, because I had other stuff going on. Impromptu voting, and y'all voted in spades. We had let me talk about the last one. We had again over 5,000 votes. In total, right? Because we have 3 stories about this. We had over 45,000 people viewing our shit. So thank you very much for voting on my Instagram. Thank you so much for that. The final tally, right? We had the last week was best martial arts movie.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I was pretty sad that Mizu got the short end of the stick here. Because Fearless was last with a 31% approval rating. Then we had Ip Man. Donnie Yen's iconic performance in Ip Man % got 63%. Which is valiant effort. And then the final tally was 87 percentage maracas on Bruce Lee's Enter the Motherfucking Dragon.
I think that's the highest we've ever had, percentage-wise.
That's the highest.
Yes.
That's the highest. The next highest was like 70-something for the Joker. 77% for the Joker.
Who knew people felt so passionately
about
martial arts movies?
About Bruce Lee.
Or just Bruce Lee.
But having talked zombies in What If and having talked zombies now, what is the best zombie movie of all time? I will be going for an like I think is a pretty underrated movie.
Oh,
Shaun
yeah,
of the
'cause-
Dead.
God,
Shaun
you
of the
mother!
Dead.
Don't swear.
Shaun of the Dead, bro.
God,
Shaun of the
I
Dead.
was the only one I had. That was the only fucking
No,
one I
no,
had.
there's
God damn it.
others. There's others. But
No, he
Is there
said that's the
other
only
zombie
one
movies?
he had.
Yeah.
and that
It's
was
the only one I
of mine as
had.
well. That was
Zombieland
my
is
other
still
one.
up there, bitch.
Oh, zombie! God damn it! God.
Sean.
Damn.
Shaun
I was like, no way anyone
the
else will have
Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. God,
Dude.
shit.
It was released early 2000s. Let me double check actually, because it was an Edgar Wright movie, so it was really well made. It was a 2004. 2004. It was a Simon Pegg led masterpiece. It was a comedic take on zombies just hitting the UK and hitting the entire like world. It was awesome. I think it's the only movie that besides Zombieland that's so like dark in terms of subject matter that I laughed my ass off, just like completely like just so excited.
That's
And
just
the thing
Sean
is-
Penn in a nutshell.
Yeah, and then Sean, like the thing is, Sean is just a loser. He's a 30-year-old super loser that is
Yep.
just literally like he lives in like a flat in like London, and the entire world completely switches up on him, and he has to be a zombie hunter, which is amazing. I loved
scene
it.
where his stepfather gets bit, and they're like, "Have you run it under cold water?" And it's just, one of the best scenes of all time. They're throwing the records at the zombies, and it's
Yes.
just like smash it off and get stuck in their
Oh, yes.
skull.
I one of the biggest laugh out loud moments that I've had ever is literally seeing Ed play Xbox as a
Yes.
zombie. Like just
Yeah.
you have your friend is a zombie for the rest of eternity, and you're playing video games with him.
You have
I
him
love it.
locked in the basement.
I love it. I just absolutely love it. I love the comedy. I love that it's gritty. I love that it's irreverent. Like you literally do like you just it's Monty Python humor
Yeah.
with the zombies.
It's British.
Glorious. It's glorious.
It's just
so
British.
I would say Shaun of the Dead has to be up there.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I actually don't even like necessarily like I knew I've seen it several times and I love it. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I more or less forget the plot. Like I just remember like he's like you look outside, he goes to work or something,
Yeah.
and doesn't notice that everyone's a zombie. And then he becomes a zombie. They get trapped in a bar. I remember that. They literally
yeah.
get Chekhov's gun, and then I don't remember what happens outside of that. Oh, they do a pub tour. They do a pub tour in the zombie apocalypse, like
Yeah,
one
sure.
last pub tour.
Yep. Exactly the same thing.
And then how does it end? It just ends with Ed gets bit. No, it's the SWAT guys
Yep.
with all the guns, and they save him, right?
Yep, exactly. So
Okay.
it's literally just a random like a lads movie, like a buddy movie, and then at the end they just like it's just death.
Wait, no, is the pub tour from the Sean Penn movie where like it's like the world is about to end or something?
Ooh, that could.
Do you know what I'm talking
be.
about? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a Sean Penn movie.
I've
It's
seen a lot of Sean Penn, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like that movie is just like pretty fun. And like considering that like the
World's
last
End.
good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, World's End. That's true.
Yep.
But that was just a clusterfuck in general. So like I mean like. I was just thinking, you know, like besides, I know people love Train to Busan and like World War Z, but like I'm like, bro, I Shaun of the Dead, I could watch it and not be scared and just be happy.
It's iconic.
Yeah,
It's very, very iconic. People loved World War Z.
some people did. I mean, it's not the same as the book, but
Yeah, I was gonna say it definitely got a good amount of critical hate. When I remember it coming out, but I mean, since I mean that's a great choice. Obviously, me and Mizu both wanted it. That's
Yes.
the beauty of winning. You get to go first. These are real life circumstances. We actually haven't
Booyah.
even figured out what's gonna happen. First person to 10, what they get. We haven't figured that out. Maybe we can do a poll for that.
ooh,
Do a poll like, what do
nice.
you want, or just like poll like the top comments. Be like, hey, what should the first person to 10 get? But since actually you already mentioned my choice. Because if we're talking incredible movies,
Misu just went,
that
oh, fuck.
are so good that they're able to transcend barriers, set, actually, if we're being real, build entire, build franchises upon, because this movie has gotten another installment, and also begin to pronounce what is an entire country's film industry. We got to talk Train to Busan. South Korea's arguably, I love, I'm so sorry, Mizu, South Korean films. They're incredible. The acting is great. And if you can, the director of Parasite said it best. If you can overcome the 1 inch boundary of reading subtitles, you will enter a world, an entirely new world of films that are all incredible. And he's not wrong. And here's the thing, we've been reading subtitles our entire lives, so an hour and a half of listening to Korean and reading English is not the end of the world. So Train to Busan, for those of you who haven't seen it, is a story about the zombie apocalypse popping off out of nowhere in Korea. And there's this train, and one person who's bitten stumbles onto the train. The rest of the world is descending into madness, except for this one train where they're on their way to what they believe is a safe city. But every single car starts get taking over, because you know how zombie apocalypses happen. These things are exponential. And it's a beautiful cast of lovable and hateable characters. There is oh God, I forget the name of the bigger dude. Probably one of the most beloved. Don Lee Lee plays Song Ha, and he is one of the most lovable characters of all time. And slowly but surely, unfortunately, I'm going to spoil a little bit here. You watch all of these characters that you love get picked off slowly by, unfortunately, the characters that this movie makes you hate, like the businessman who wants to prioritize his like phone calls and his love for money over the lives of human beings. And in the end, you are left with one of the most devastatingly sad moments in all of all of movie history. And if you do not cry at the ending of Train to Busan, I have to tell you, you might already be a zombie, because you do not have a pulse. Okay, this movie is a legitimate masterpiece. It's so good that they're making an American remake, because most of America refuses to be like, I can't, apparently large swaths of America can't fucking read. So yes, that is how good this movie is. That is how good this movie is that they're like, I need white people to act out these roles. And it probably will do relatively okay for some goddamn reason.
Is it a train to Miami, or like train
I
to
think
Tuscaloosa? Train to
Holy
Tuscaloosa
shit.
or something?
You're right. It's not going to be called. It's not going to be called Train to. Actually, it might be Train to Busan. What if it's just like Americans on holiday in fucking Korea?
And you know what the sad thing is? That is very plausible. They would do something like that.
And then just all the Koreans around them just happen to speak English. I mean, a lot of Koreans do speak English. It's a very educated country, but like,
I don't want it. I don't want.
Nobody with a brain wants it.
But I hope this flops. I really do. I really do. It flops.
I also hope it flops, because here's the thing, like, it's just like blatant erasure of the original movie. It's like, oh, listen, it's such signal virtuing to like the most milquetoast white people on earth. It's like, oh, I need my face on the TV to understand what's going on. But just like fucking, the Korean version is a masterpiece. And there's even dubbed versions. There's dubbed versions if you really don't want to read. So like, it's just, we don't need an American. Yes, actually, this is a signal to everybody out there. We don't need American remakes of international movies. It's like the one, the Cheers. I think it just won a bunch of Oscars or something.
Cheers?
No, not Cheers. No, not Cheers. Not Parasite. It's got the Norwegian dude who's like gray beard, gray hair, like he's got the scar. It just won a bunch of Oscars, but they're doing an American remake, essentially. We do not need American remakes of international movies. I'm saying that here. But yes, my choice is Train to Busan, the Korean version, because also, if we're being real, it propped up Korean media on its back. It made the world realize that I would say Korea is probably the second hub of movies out there in terms of creation, and in terms of what I appreciate. I would say it goes America, Korea, India, probably, and then like Germany or Spain, maybe. But I adore Korean movies.
In
Bro,
terms of
I'm waiting. I'm waiting
Oh,
for
yeah.
a good Bollywood movie to transfer over to America.
bro, the Spanish television
That too.
wave is fucking bomb.
Money Heist.
Money Heist just came out with his I think it's his final season. I haven't seen
Final
it.
season,
I
yeah.
haven't seen it. I'm excited. But they also like funny transition, but we'll get to Mizu. They also have another series, I believe it's on Amazon Prime, about El Cid. So the guy that plays
Oh.
Denver, the guy that plays Denver in Money House, La Casa de Papel, plays El Cid, which is one of the most famous and most important
Moorish
Spanish,
knight.
Spanish,
Mhm.
Spanish folklore characters besides El Quijote. It is El Mio Cid. It's from a very, very old, like I think it's 13th century poem of El Mio Cid, which I read when I was like 12 and I didn't understand shit. But the
I thought he was
actual,
real.
yeah, he was. But I meant
Oh.
like it's like the poems are like it's the poems of El Mio Cid.
Okay.
So it's just like tales of his greatness. And it is bomb. I started watching it on Amazon Prime. It is amazing. But before we get too carried away,
Wait. I want to tell you something
Yeah,
about El
yes,
Cid.
yes.
Did you know there's already an El Cid movie?
No way.
Okay, and then I want you to guess the ethnicity of the man who played El Cid.
I know. Is it like Tom Cruise?
Let's just say no, because it was 1961, so Tom
Okay.
Cruise was
Well,
probably not
that's
alive.
expected, I'm not gonna lie.
Charlton Heston. Of course it's Charlton Heston.
Yes.
God damn it.
So very much a white man played El Cid, which is fantastic. Love that for the culture. But yes, no, that's awesome. That sounds really, really cool. No, the Spanish wave has been incredible. It's awesome to see other countries like making big budget I mean, obviously they have been for like a while, but seeing a wave, you know what?
Can we just talk about the fact that Charlton Heston not only played El Cid. Let's just sidebar. We should talk about
Okay.
this in another episode. This man played Mark Anthony. He is not white.
Nope.
Moses.
Mark Anthony is deeply Egyptian.
Moses. He played Moses.
He played the black man Moses. Good.
Yes, he played the Ten Commandments, Moses. Yes, he played Ben-Hur.
Who is Spanish as well, I think.
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
is.
But I just know that Charlton Heston was getting busy. He also played. Well, he was an astronaut in Planet of the Apes. It was pretty chill. But yeah, that was wild. But yeah, he also played El Cid, which is Spanish, which is wild. Mizu, what is your favorite zombie movie of all time?
Oh boy, did we get on a fucking tangent there.
Indeed.
Here I'm
No.
about Ben-Hur.
For real. Well, you actually also mentioned it as well, Jose,
Nice.
and it's another great banger of a zombie film, and that is Zombieland.
Woo!
And the
Okay.
difference between both of these is that Train to Busan is fantastic and is incredibly sad.
Yes.
Shaun of the Dead is incredibly funny. But overall, I feel like Zombieland is not only action-packed, but fun. Like, it's one of those zombie films that, like you know what's going on. You think that, like, oh yeah, like it's a zombie apocalypse, but the main characters make it so entertaining and fun,
Yeah.
like to the point where you never feel scared when you're watching the thing. You never feel like, oh man, some things can go south in it. Like, they are so on point with the film. And you're not gonna lie, you know you're a good film. You know you're a good zombie film when you have a different little sayings. Like, think about it. The whole Twinkie thing. The man
Oh, the
loves Twinkies so
Twinkies.
much. He's like, he literally made him go into the store to get a Twinkie, knowing it was infested with zombies, and
Yep.
was gonna get real pissed off if he didn't come back with a Twinkie.
I listen. You gotta have a thing in the apocalypse. You know, there's just gotta be a thing that keeps you going. And for Woody Harrelson's character, or what was his name, Dakota or something,
Mhm.
it was Twinkies.
Exactly. And overall, I just love how the first, like, the short little group together of Woody Harrelson and like Emma Watson and all of them together taking on these zombies. And again, it just felt really fun. It felt just a little bit different compared to other zombie films where, like, there's always this sense of dread. There's always this sense of like who can be killed, what's going on. But no, I liked how it was action packed and it was still fun.
Yeah, I mean, also like Emma Stone is and forever has been one of my biggest crushes. So her in that movie, her in Easy A, that was back in an era where Emma Stone was just fucking crushing it. Oh
Yep.
my goodness, yeah, she was fantastic in it. Woody Harrelson has never been in a bad movie. That's not true. He's been in plenty of them, but I always love him. It's funny, it's fresh. They kill Bill Murray, which is also one of the funnier scenes. I feel like if anything, it's real. It's very real because if we're being real, like in the zombie apocalypse, let's say you've survived into the latter stages of the zombie apocalypse. Both of the movies we talked about were early stage, zombie apocalypse. I feel like the end of Shaun of the Dead kind of deals with this, but that's what the later stages of the zombie apocalypse would look like. Like if we're being real, most of the movie takes place in Middle America, where there wouldn't be that many zombies, and so a large part of their travels, they're just like they're uninterrupted by zombies, and so they have goals in mind, things that they want to accomplish, and that's what I would be like. I'd be like, fuck it, I do want a Twinkie. I want to go to an amusement park again. It's like COVID, there's things you miss that you can't do anymore because of a set of circumstances. Clearly way worse, but like, yeah, it's very relatable at its core. So yes, a very good choice. I love Zombieland. Did you like the sequel though?
Um, Not as much as the first one, but I didn't hate it.
Hmm.
So
You know what? This is actually a question for another week. It's an incredible airplane movie. I watched Zombieland 2
Oh
on
yes,
an
it
airplane.
is.
We should talk one week behind the walls of our Patreon about the best airplane movie of all time. Like, what is like the movie that got you through an airplane ride? For me, it's like Deadpool 2, like Zombieland 2. Oh god, so many of them. I'm
I'm
very
not.
passionate
I'm not
about this
gonna
stuff.
answer it now. I'm gonna answer it
Okay.
in our next stack 'em up because no.
All right, and speaking of the stack 'em ups, guys, you can vote for our stack 'em up in Jose's
Yes,
Instagram.
indeed. We are doing it right as the pod is released. We release the new poll for the stack 'em up. And you guys have been absolutely crushing it. We had over 5,000 people vote in the last one, and in the one before that we had like 7,000, which is wild to think that you would do that just for a podcast. So you are proving to everybody that the Weeb Weekly is here to stay. So
Here
yep,
to stay
you can go
indeed.
you can go to I'm Tropical Joe on Instagram, and once the podcast is out on whichever platform you decide to consume podcasts in, you can vote for who the winner is.
Yep. Cool. And then since we were talking, since we're talking, just generally the end of the world, it's starting to look like it's about to be the end of the world for MHA, if we're being entirely real. We got a little peek behind the curtain of Shigaraki's backstory this week. And to say I understand is an understatement because he did not have an incredible childhood by any means. But it also raises a very interesting and a very like I understand the reasoning of his father. Not saying like I understand why he hit his kid, but I can understand the anger. So essentially, what we've known for a long time is that Nana Shimura, the user of One for All, prior to All Might, was Shigaraki's grandmother. And because of that, you could say that he had a propensity for, strong like quirks and all of that. But at the same time, we also know that she died fighting One or All for One. And so it brings up the point of these heroes who give their lives for hero-dom do leave families behind, and that can hurt those around them, and that's what happened with Shigaraki's father, who was a general dirtbag. So I thought it was a crazy episode. The show just continually gets gorier and gorier and gorier, which is crazy. How did you feel about it? Did you feel like it was true to the manga? Are you liking what the anime is doing stylistically with Shigaraki? Mizu, what's going on?
now, in terms of story, like they're going almost like like literally page for page from the
Which is
manga.
just love that.
Exactly, and that's the one thing I feel like a lot of people underestimate about My Hero. It's one of the few anime that is actually taking from the manga, and of course, that sounds like common sense, but you'd be surprised. Like
Yep.
it, you can look at the manga and then look at the anime, and it's literally straight from the manga. No, they
Yep.
don't take a lot of. The only time they take a lot of liberties is when they're doing the action scenes to a point.
Mhm.
But besides that, like it's literally almost accurate as hell. with that being said, stylistically, I did feel like I would say the last two episodes, in a way, felt just a tad bit lacking, and specifically
What do you mean?
on specifically as in artistic wise, like in the manga, Shigaraki looks more beat up and
Yeah.
looks more rugged, while this one you can kind of see that they didn't put enough time into that at all. His faces look very,
The
standard,
details.
bland.
Yeah.
Exactly. But besides
Like you see
that,
like the scratch marks and all that. Like you see like his like eyes are like chafing and bloody and all that.
yep. But I will say that this episode they didn't do that. I'm just saying the previous two episodes
Mm-hmm.
that it just felt like they were lacking a little bit in terms of animation wise, and like the scale of it and how important it was. Because you go to the manga in those scenes, it like the panels are freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
But overall, besides that, like everything about it is going in the right direction. I love it. Perfect. I also love how they showed off Reed Destro's power, because that's the power. That was the quirk I was talking about.
You were saying that it would be good, it would be like helpful, and now that I know what the quirk is, I'm interested to see like what you mean by that.
So, as in, like his whole quirk is based off of stress. The more stress he gets, and he could. The other cool thing is that he can contain that stress and basically save it,
store it for later.
Yeah, store it for later, and so he can turn into a Hulk equivalent.
Yep.
And I was
with
just
energy
like,
balls.
Yeah, exactly. It goes so far to make energy balls. So I also say, oh yeah, because I'm definitely down. I could do that because one, I'm an adult.
Yep.
It's a pandemic. This economy is crazy. It just it's just building up.
I would be so powerful.
Like the stress is constantly building up. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to save that. So when the time comes to be like, okay, when shit hits the fan, oh yeah, I have a power.
I got it locked
to protect me.
It's literally the physical embodiment of like pushing down your feelings, and then just like it's like people who just like push down their feelings and then fucking explode on people.
Like I'm not gonna lie to you that I'm so like that quirk. If quirks did exist in our real world, that quirk should never exist at all, because you know how many people who can use that quirk? Because our generation, both millennials and some I'll say older Centennials, Generation Z.
Yeah.
We are very stressed out people of all the events that have occurred in the past decade or two.
Two once in a lifetime, like bankruptcy, economies, a global pandemic.
We keep going through so many historical, life-changing events.
Change. Half of the country's on fire, half is underwater. We're all gonna die.
If we had that quirk, God, this world would be insane.
Yeah. You would hope it would go to someone with like a moral conscience, or like a yoga teacher, like someone who's like very fucking zen. Because like I think a lot of us would be able to bust out that Hulk mode like once a week. But the thing is, like, his quirk is cool as shit, and it also really speaks to the creativity of the show, which I've loved for a really long time. Like, there's been jokes around because there's 110,000 people in the Meta Liberation Army, and everyone has to have a different quirk, and everyone has to like look differently. They're like, some of these quirks are just fucking disabilities. And I was like, there's like the one dude who was a Windex bottle, and I was like, you're not wrong there. But like that quirk is like a really cool representation of like how creative the mangaka is. Like, I think it's funny because it's probably like a quirk that he thought of because of how fucking stressful it is to be a mangaka. Yeah, he's like, boy, do I wish I could convert some of this stress into power.
Since you said that, can you imagine if mangaka had that type of quirk or power? Can you imagine if like Oda, the creator of One Piece,
it'd be done. We would have found the One Piece by now.
That man, that man only gets like 4 hours of sleep. 4 hours of sleep making One Piece, and he even skipped out on part of his honeymoon to go write. So can you imagine if he had a quirk like that for all 20 years of writing that one story?
It's a good thing he loves what he does, because here's the thing, like, that's the thing, like I would just get stressed out and finish the fucking story. I would just, One Piece would have been it would have ended after the Rainbow Mist arc. I would have been like, and I want sleep. Like, we're good. It's done. The story's done. And so it's just going back to MHA. It was incredible seeing that scene, but oh my God, was it devastatingly sad when he deletes his dog. But what I didn't expect, for the longest time, when Shigaraki uses his quirk on someone, when he uses his quirk on, like like overhauls hands in that. It just turns to dust and it fades. These people were turning into blood gelatin. His sister,
So
blood gelatin.
you can make the argument of that. That's when he just activated his quirk and he was still trying to learn, or like we're just seeing like the uncontrolled effects of his quirk.
Mhm.
But now you can see that he has gotten a bit of more of a handle of what he can do with it. So I guess so you can say, I think that would be my logic to it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely very interested to see where his storyline goes, because here's the thing, like Nana Shimura, the reason that his life is essentially the way it is because her death makes his father an asshole, and then his entire family spends the rest of their life telling him to suck it up, basically. Nana Shimura was killed, the event that like kickstarted his shitty life, by All For One, who is essentially his master. So I want to see if that exposes itself in the future, which I'm assuming it will, and how that affects his motivation. I'm assuming it probably won't phase him because his entire identity is built on destruction. But I mean, so I'm assuming next episode we're getting Gega Mekia, whatever his name is, the giant versus giant fight here, and I'm assuming Shigaraki's gonna sit one out, and I am very excited for that because it's gonna be like Superman versus
Doomsday.
Doomsday, like punches breaking windows, like that kind of craziness.
Absolutely.
But yeah, outside of that, it was incredible. Jose, you didn't catch up with MHA this week, but
No, I did not.
I caught up with a show that I'd like to do a little bit of talking about. I finished Black Clover. Noelle is the best character in the show. Yami got to fight alongside two demons simultaneously with nothing but a cigarette and a dream. Oh God, who else? Asta's power scaling is sick. I made jokes about this show being similar to Naruto, and it is in its own right, but it also does a lot to separate itself. It is incredible. And for those of you who are on the fence about watching Black Clover, because you've heard mixed reports, listen, those mixed reports are wrong. This is my 6th favorite anime of all time, and apparently they're not coming out with a new season until 2024. Do you know anything about this, Mizu, as someone who's also watched it? There's a movie coming out, something like that?
So I haven't heard, now personally, I haven't heard of anything about a movie. I have to look that up. Okay. Besides that, in terms of like anime continuation, yeah, they have been a lot on the fence. I'm surprised they're even coming back because originally they said they were canceling the anime.
Yeah, but now they're just
and that's why we had
manga.
So many. Exactly, and that's why we had so many like filler type episodes going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, if you guys are interested and still want to get involved in Black Clover, and you're finished just like Nick, and you want to still get involved, but you don't want to wait that long for Black Clover to go on for the anime if it does come out in 2024. There is the manga, which is, if you get Shonen Jump, the Shonen Jump app, it's only $1 a month, and you can literally read it. And I've been reading it, and I'm caught up. And you thought it gets crazy. It gets crazy.
Dante's terrifying. Dante's like a Madara level threat. I was like watching the show, and I was always wondering, like, people, who wins in a fight, like Asta or Naruto, and I was like, I don't fucking know. But like watching it and like watching Asta bang with Dante, I was like, this is a Madara level threat at maybe even more. And Yami's just doing it with a katana and a dream. That was incredible. It's a very good show. I highly recommend you guys watch it. A lot of people in my comments were saying it comes back in 2024. But there's also going to be a filler movie. I believe there is going to be like a non-canon movie in 2022 is what the rumblings are. But yes, incredible movie. Going to be doing a lot of content about it on TikTok. So if you guys want to keep up there. But since we are talking about social medias and news and the such, we had a lot of news this week, didn't we, Jose? We had a whole PlayStation big announcement of a bunch of different games. You're getting another Spider-Man game.
Honestly,
aren't you excited?
Okay, I'm gonna take the wheel here because I've been literally prepping my entire week for this.
Oh yeah,
we're taking one step at a time.
Let's do it.
Oh, and since we love controversy on this show,
we do, because we can talk about it.
Let's talk about the most controversial game that was shown at the Sony showcase, which was in my opinion, the sequel to the very best game ever produced. Ever.
They're making Minecraft 2.
Yes,
Yes.
but God
Okay,
of
better.
War is out there. And we officially have our first teaser. We had our first teaser, and now we have our first trailer with gameplay and a mix of CGI as well, of the cutscenes. It is looking holy hell banging. It is looking amazing. It is going to be the finale in the Norse saga, apparently.
Okay.
I heard about that too.
Yeah, it's apparently going to be the finale. I don't know if they're going to go for Odin in this one. I would have expected them to do 3 and then go like from the 4 corners of the thing. So like they would go, they already finished Greek, they would do Norse, then Japanese, and then Celtic or whatever they wanted to do. There's a lot they could explore, right? And you also have Egyptian. I mean,
Norse and Celtic gods are different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They shared. I don't know.
but besides the gameplay, which I would love to get your opinions on how it looks, how the actual you can see physically Kratos' wrinkles now. Like it's wild. Everything, like as technology evolves, these games get so much layered in terms of like the performances of the actors, the way that things look, the way that the environment essentially becomes a character in and of itself. I absolutely love the trailer. We'll get into the controversy in a little bit. I wanted to get your guys' opinions. What do you think about the trailer? What do you think about the character models? And then we can get into the juicy stuff.
I think it's interesting that it's just become the industry standard because obviously it looks gorgeous, right? But if you're releasing a single player AAA game nowadays, unless you're trying to do something stylistically, it's got to be gorgeous. And you would think that would come with this insane price jump. But the technologies for these kinds of things have just gotten so comprehensive with motion cap and all that. And the Unreal Engine, all that. It's Ubisoft who controls the God of War games, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, it's Santa Monica Studio.
No.
It's Santa Monica Studios, but I don't know the engine. Let me double check.
But no, it's very interesting to see how these industries are changing every single day. It looks gorgeous. I mean, it doesn't look like Sun Wukong by any means. What?
It's a proprietary system by Sony Santa Monica. Like it's not the Unreal Engine. Yeah.
Shit. But yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It looks like a lot of fun. I haven't even played God of War 4 or 5. Which one?
It's 4.
So canonically it's 4, but there's other like supplementary, like there's Chains of Olympus, like there.
Yeah.
I have to see you play that or / like help you play it. Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, I never played it. I never really played any of them. And if we're being real, I probably won't play this one, but it does look gorgeous.
Sheesh. Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad guy. It's not my style.
It's all good. Hey, but I think honestly, because I know you love.
It is exactly my style. I fucking love single player games.
We gotta address it because did you play Red Dead Redemption?
I played the first one. Red Dead 2 sucked.
Oh my god!
It was annoying. I have to keep an eye on my nutrition out here on my horse, and with the horse poops, dude. There was like 10 hours of farming in it. There was like not video game farming, like physical farming. Like I was in Stardew Valley.
Nick.
I didn't finish it. I got like 20 hours in. I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Well, that might honestly, I am willing to forgive
boring.
I'm willing to forgive any other takes, but I'm like, okay, God of War, not my style. Fair, haven't played it.
God of War is my style. I was an Xbox kid.
Me too. Like I went from PlayStation 2 to Xbox 360, and then but hold the fuck on. Like if
it's
you
a
could see
100-hour game.
If
the
you
prologue
could see
is 10 hours.
How much time have you put into Shinobi Strikers?
I stream that 4 times a week.
How much time?
Like 200, 300 hours.
Half of the Shinobi Strikers time that you've put in,
ESO.
you could, but Elder Scrolls Online, that's the thing. You played Skyrim and you didn't play Red Dead Redemption 2?
Because it was on Xbox and PS4. I was an Xbox kid. I couldn't play God of War. I didn't have a
Mizu.
PlayStation 4 until college.
For a man, Mizu, I don't know if you agree with me, but for a man that's so enlightened and actually provides us with the opportunity to talk about the issues in pop culture, this man just insulted the two best games of single player timeout besides
The
Skyrim.
Witcher,
Besides Skyrim.
Mass Effect 2, Skyrim,
Fuck. Okay.
Fallout
Okay,
New Vegas.
Okay, fair. But bro, in terms of style and story and how it looks, I would put these two against any other game. Mizu, I need to see your reaction both to Nick's.
I'm not alone on this
reaction.
take.
I'm just kind of surprised because I'm still kind of grasping the fact that you said Red Dead 2 with Arthur Morgan.
Yes.
And his whole story was, you said it was boring. Like you didn't like
boring. It was just a bunch of cowboy bullshit. I don't know. Red Dead 1 is fun because there's no 10-hour prologue in a farming set. I have talked to people about this. I am not alone in this take. I am not the weird man. I may be a man on an island right now. Flip it. I don't care.
No, you probably are the weird man because I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of gameplays of all kinds of things. I have yet to meet one person who said anything that you're saying, Nick, about Red Dead 2 so far. But everybody, to each their own. But I don't know. It's crazy.
That's
I didn't like it.
Arthur Morgan's whole story, that whole prequel. That to me, I'm not gonna lie. In terms of prequels, it's actually one of the best video game prequels ever done, because prequels have the time, especially terms in just any form of media, TV show, movie. Prequels 9 times out of 10 suck. They don't do very well. They always miss the bar, and they kind of ruin the original. This video game for Red Dead 2, it's a prequel of the first Red Dead, is a masterpiece. It makes you understand everything. It doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like a bad prequel. Every part of it is cinematic. To this point, I even gone on record to say that Red Dead in itself should be a movie franchise if they could do it.
I have a question.
I would watch it. I just don't want to. Here's my thing.
I have a question.
Why do I have to grow my own beard? Why do I have to grow my own beard?
I have a question.
That's annoying.
That's the part. It makes you more immersed. It makes you feel like you're actually in the game.
I play video games to escape reality. I don't want to have to play 100 real game hours to get a goddamn beard back because I accidentally shaved it.
I got a question for you. Would you rather rewatch Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones or restart playing Red Dead Redemption 2?
Oh, 2. Absolutely. It's a
Son
great
of a-
movie.
Oh my god, bro.
It's a great movie.
Hot take. Fuego.
I think it's probably the best
All
movie
right.
in the
Hey, how about this?
prequels.
I'm not gonna lie. How about we say this? We should dedicate an episode just to hot takes to hear everybody's different hot takes. Just
Oh
for
my
one
god.
day.
Gurren Lagann's not a good anime.
Jesus.
Holy!
I've tried to watch Gurren
Nick.
Lagann 7 times. I've dropped it every single time.
Hey yo. We're gonna make
hold
TikToks
on.
about this.
Hold Hold up on the hot takes for right now.
Okay.
I'm controversial.
Okay.
Gurren Lagann, are you serious? I just
Fuck
reviewed
that,
I don't
bro.
like it. I've tried like 7 times.
No, hey, I'm gonna be honest. I want to cover the controversy surrounding this game, but I think those hot takes are even more controversial. But anyhow, speaking of controversy, we have 2 big things that popped up specifically with God of War.
Yeah.
One of them, which I found freaking egregious, was people fat shaming Thor. So to give you a little bit of context, we have released character art for Thor, and he's a big boy.
Thor.
He's a strong
He's not
man.
even fat.
He's a strong man.
Yeah,
He's just strong man built.
Bro,
he's
he's
just big. He's thick.
He looks like the mountain out of Game of Thrones. Like he's literally like if you look at
that's
the world's
exactly
strongest
what I was
man
thinking.
competition, if you look at the world's strongest man
You look like
competition,
Eddie Hall.
not
That's
one
Eddie
of them.
Hall.
Bro, literally that's Eddie Hall. Bro, I'm thinking like nobody that wins the world's strongest man competition looks like Chris Hemsworth. They don't, because they're not the strongest people around. Like, so the people that were fat shaming Thor, it was ridiculous to me, and I just wanted to read a well, no, I'll read the quote for the second controversy, but I wanted to get your opinions. Did you like the character models? What did you think of the new Thor? And what did you think of the people fat shaming him?
Well, it's character accurate. He's a glutton.
Yeah,
He in Norse mythology.
In the Edda, yeah, he is
a glutton. He eats a lot of food. Also, yes, this is what strong people look like. Like it's just like no, go watch the World's Strongest Man competition. No, not a single one of them has a 6-pack. I'm not saying a lot of them, like, you're not gonna look at them and be like, oh, that guy's like fat, but like look at like Eddie Hall. Look at Eddie Hall. Look at Thor. I can't say his last name. Obviously, Thor and Eddie Hall have both cut down because they have a boxing match coming up, and they're trying to get to a certain weight. They both look fucking amazing. But if you look at them, like any power lifter, that is what a power lifter looks like. That is the strongest people on earth. And they need mass, and that is what Thor looks like. And if that upsets you, like here's the thing: ask yourself why that upsets you. Like, that's the weird part to me, because it's more representative of what he should look like. And B, like, I'm sorry, is your power fantasy so fragile that, like, fighting someone who doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth is going to break the game for you?
See, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to say that, yeah, like you said, it is accurate to the mythology of Thor. Like, he has red hair. He's a big guy. Like you said, he's a glutton. He drunk a whole... What was it? I drank a whole lot of meat or something like that. That was the size of the ocean. He did that by himself. Like, yeah. So of course, this man's gonna have some weight to him. Plus, even though, like Nick was saying, like, just because someone looks thicker does not mean that they're not strong. Yeah. And for example, a little history lesson. Like gladiators. Gladiators actually had, to a point, a type of belly that stuck out, because it protected them from getting sliced through the stomach. Because realistically, having abs in a fight, or especially like a gladiator fight, would not work. It would not protect you. It would get
Steel
you
beats
killed.
Muscle. Yeah,
exactly. It would get you killed in a gladiator fight. Granted, that is Rome. That is not Norse mythology. But I'm just saying, like, abs are not like the essential to like fighting a combat if we're going to get involved in stuff like that. And here's the thing, you said to ask the question why, and honestly, part of me wants to say I know why, is because unfortunately it has to do with Marvel and the MCU. Both Marvel comics and the MCU, everybody looks at Chris Hemsworth, and even the comics make him look like he is like
a Greek
this
god,
lean cut blonde-haired dude, which is not what he looks like. And because of his popularity in the comic books and in the MCU, people are expecting Thor to look like that when it's not the case at all. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not 100% giving the blame, but I can see where some people are getting this from, because we have so been entrenched by what the comic books and what the MCU has given us of their interpretation of Thor. We expected that to be the same way.
Yeah. Also, like, you're not even playing him. Like, Kratos has let's see if we can count how many abs Kratos has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got a 12-pack. So if you really need to feel like secure in your masculinity, don't worry. Your character still is an unrealistic example of what a male body can or should look like. You know, like, you'll be okay.
I have a quote, actually, because we had a development as of a couple hours ago, right? No, a couple days ago. So the story lead for the game, Matt Safos, absolutely clapped the fuck back to a troll on Twitter. So I'm gonna read the full quote.
Okay.
So somebody said, why are they making my Thor fat? And like, there was other things, just fat shaming. And he's like, do they also have blue dwarves in Norse mythology? Was Loki the son of a Greek demigod? Please show me in the Eddas where it says that all the Jotuns are lily white. Let me save you the time. You can't, because I've read them. And it's like, you do know that Jotun, like the giants, aren't real, right? They can be anyone or anything. Some are even giant serpents, ? Yeah, but I get it. You were only okay with Jormungandr in our first game because his scales were white, right? Well, good luck to you. Hope you can find a game that better fits your sensibilities.
Yeah, like,
Matt Safos MVP.
Actually. Actually, I mean, it's the reality, and I mean that is, since we're talking about the race of the situation, that brings us to
Ugh.
the other piece of controversy about the game is that Loki's wife, well, not Loki's wife, but like the wife, the mother of three of Loki's children in the show, or in the Eddas, whose name I am
Anger
completely
boa. Anger boa,
Anger
basically.
Boa, yeah.
Boda, yeah, whatever.
She's black in the game, and people are upset about that because she's black, even though she's a shapeshifter who gave birth to serpents, and can take the form of literally anything. She's a giant. So those don't exist, even though some people think they did at one point. So a giant shapeshifter, and you are upset that they took the form of a black woman. Want to talk about it?
And here's the thing: you could also make the argument that if you played it, so I mean, to give Nick some background, in the
Mhm.
game they mention that other mythologies exist in there. Because I mean, if
Yes.
they didn't, like, they acknowledge that Kratos, because when they all the gods there know that Kratos is a god. The only people who
Yeah.
don't know it's like his son. He's calling them out like, oh yeah, you're from that other pantheon that you destroyed. Like, we know who
Mhm.
you are. And they all, basically what I'm saying to say is that they all know that each other, they know each other, they know that other pantheons exist. They know that other gods exist. So, and some of them have traveled outside of their pantheon, i.e., Kratos. Tyr, who was another person who showed up in the
Yep.
trailer for the game. He's
Mhm.
also traveled to other pantheons. Um, um, Kratos' other wife, his second wife, the son, the mother of Atreus,
Mhm.
she had visions of Kratos. I mean, she knew about other pantheons as well. So you could make the argument. You could make the argument that
Mhm.
she, how you say her name again?
Anger boda.
Angra Boda. You could make the argument that she is also knowledgeable of other gods, and maybe it took in
Mhm.
the form of maybe something else, maybe in those pantheons or whatever. Because you, like you said, she's a shapeshifter. And again, it's
Shapeshifting
just a
giant.
mythology. These are not based off real people.
Yep.
So yes, you can make the argument. Yeah, it's based off of Norse mythology. Norse mythology is based off the Netherlands and Vikings, white people. Sure, but like I feel like it's really not that big of a deal. Especially, it's not like they made the whole entire cast black. It's like
Nope.
there's just one
One
character
character.
out of
Side
all of
character.
them. It's kind of like in the MCU, Himdall. They made Himdall black
Black,
in the
yeah.
MCU, and it's whatever. It's like it's because I mean, I'm not saying the character's not important, but it's just Himdall. It's Himdall.
Yeah.
Who I mean, who really cares
Tim
about what
Drake.
Himdall looks like?
You know?
I'm
Like,
I'm
these
so
are
upset.
side
I'm so
characters.
upset at these tweets, bro. I'm so upset.
Oh, you're going down the hole.
fi-
Don't go down the hole. The hole's never a place to be.
Oh yeah, plus
Bro.
it's Twitter. It's expected. So here's the thing. Here's the beautiful
Twitter's a
thing that I also
cesspool.
learned. I was watching from YouTube a little bit. Is that you got, on media, you got SJWs, people who get involved in certain things, and you also got anti-SJWs, which are people who aren't not talked about enough, which are people
Yeah.
who jump the gun on a lot of things. They're like, oh, as soon as they see people, they're like, oh, this movie's woke. Like what they
Yeah.
did with Black Panther, and even with
Mhm.
Shang-Chi. Everybody keeps saying that because it's a predominantly Asian cast, it was going to be a woke film. It's going to be too much political. But if you've seen the film, it's really not that like.
There's not even
political
like
at
an
all.
ounce of politics in Shang-Chi. Like, it's like, I guess the most political it gets is like talking about the family dynamics of an Asian family and how they might differ from your Amero Eurocentric standard, but like that's about it. It's not they're like, oh wow, they don't know like, wow, boy, are Chinese American relationships strange right now. It's just a movie about a Chinese superhero. It's not woke. It's just telling a story that exists in Marvel because Stan Lee wrote about a world outside your window, god damn it.
Exactly. And with that being said, like a lot of these anti-SJW type folks who are very similar to their counterparts is that they always quickly jump the gun on anything that seems
Got
to
it.
them, yeah, very
Got
woke.
it.
And they're doing this,
Yeah.
and I can already say, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first saw the trailer, I instantly
Just
knew
like
that people
your
are going to be
spidey
upset.
sense. Yeah.
Exactly. I instantly knew they're going to be upset about the black girl. I said, oh, well, I already know what they're going to be mad about. And then I heard about what Thor looked like. I said, oh, I already knew. And as soon as I
Yeah.
opened YouTube,
First
the first video I saw was someone saying, oh, Thor is fat, little
Yeah.
thumbnail, or people
Not
are fat
great.
shaming Thor. I'm like, I spoke too soon. I already knew, like, I might as well be a psychic for this shit.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, somebody said, can you find a canonical way to inscribe? Oh my god, I can't. I'm literally becoming dumber by the time I'm reading this. Do you have a canonical way to inscribe black people in Scandinavian mythology? Quote, quote, quote. Because I read the Eddas and no, they didn't. And somebody said, you do realize that the Edda also said that the Jotuns could take the shape of anybody that they want, right?
Yeah.
Any size. It's like what they can do whatever the fuck they want.
And black people exist in that world. So yeah,
this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of fun.
And here's the thing: you're gonna probably get those like historical, really into deep mythos nuts. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Especially, it all depends on what her role is going to be in the game. Overall, it's really not that deep.
No,
it's not that deep. It's not that big of a deal. Like, again, I just feel like, and I have a gut feeling that you guys are jumping the gun with this again. So, like, just play it because you're going off the trailer. How about you wait until the game comes out, play the fucking game, and then make your assessment on it.
It's just people have like an ideology of what like the agenda is, and they're always trying to find ways to substantiate what their agenda is. Essentially, it's same on both sides, unfortunately. And that's awful. But hey, listen, we had good news about Spider-Man.
True.
We had good news about Spider-Man.
Yes, indeed. Yep, I'll start. Basically, we got a trailer also. A reveal trailer for Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, which has been much anticipated, probably one of the best games to come out in the PlayStation 4. It had a second life as well because it had all the movie costumes that were coming out along that time. Also around the time that the PS5 came out, we saw what the future of gaming with Spider-Man could be, since we got the Miles Morales game or the DLC plus
future of gaming on PlayStation.
Yeah. The DLC plus, which was the Miles Morales game.
That was Miles Morales. Yes.
Yeah, the Miles Morales game. It was really good.
How long was the game? Like 8 hours?
I finished.
How long was Miles Morales?
I finished it in like 8 hours, I think. The main story.
It was less than 10.
For a full price game, a 10-hour playtime is outrageous.
Yeah. And then you add to the fact that like they added so many features that were really cool. Just like first of all, the tricks were immensely improved. With Miles. You also added the app that he has for like the spider app to like help other people out, made side missions a little bit more engaging. Also, the weather effects were bomb, and the way that everything looked. I rave a lot about that. But talking about the trailer, we officially have a date, 2022. It's coming out in 2022 next year.
Okay, I wouldn't call that a date. That's
we just didn't know when it was coming out because it got delayed.
Yeah.
So 2022 is officially the year we're getting it, and holy damn, it looks amazing. I know that it wasn't all gameplay; it was mostly cinematics. But the first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the person that is narrating the said trailer. The way that they're speaking seems a little bit like Kraven the Hunter. Like he's trying to find somebody to beat him. That's what he says. Like, and he's using a foreign accent. I believe Kraven is Russian. Is Kraven Russian?
Kraven is. Wow, I don't remember. He is definitely foreign. He is foreign for sure. I think he might be either Russian or Eastern European.
He's Russian.
Possibly.
His alter ego is Sergey, so it's probably
he is
Russian. Yep.
So yes, we were thinking, who the hell is narrating this trailer? And then at the end of said trailer, we get a little quote. I've been trying to find somebody to actually give me a challenge or actually beat me. Do you think you can bring me this person? And we get the one and only Tony Todd, which for your reference is the original Candyman, saying, yes, we will. And we have the official reveal of the big bad of Marvel Spider-Man 2, and it is none other than Venom. So We are
Oh,
getting
shit.
Venom in Spider-Man 2. Tony Todd came out and said that the game was massive from his experience being the
That's
voice of Venom.
crazy.
Bro, the official voice of Venom is none other than Candyman himself, bro.
That's sick.
That's gonna be sick AF. What did you guys think of the trailer? Are you guys excited? Did you like the costumes? Is it gonna be co-op? Are you hyped for that? What's the deal?
I'll let you go first, Mizu.
I'm definitely excited. I liked both games. I did wish that Miles Morales was a lot longer compared to the first one, but overall, it was to date the best Spider-Man game ever created. Every villain was fantastic. Every part of the game, in terms of story-wise, was great. The build-up in the relationship with Doc Ock was great, and so I like how we're seeing both of these characters together, both Peter and Miles, to take down Venom. And if it is co-op, that would be amazing. I would love to see some missions where you can be Miles or Peter, like two players can
sick.
meet up and
It takes
stop
two Spider-Man
missions.
edition.
Yeah.
Facts. Overall, I am definitely excited. And mind you, this is coming from, I think I haven't even told Jose this. This is coming from someone who originally for a while was not a fan of Spider-Man. Did not hate him, but I did not care for him.
As a character, or like just his vibe, I guess.
I know as a character, because I think it's also because I have to do with my little brother, because he was super obsessed with Spider-Man. And I was just like, he's not my guy. And then until relatively recently with the Spider-Man games, and then Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse definitely changed my opinion on Spider-Man. And I also say Tom Holland to a point as well changed my opinion on Spider-Man. So overall, I'm definitely excited. It's the first Spider-Man game I ever bought too. I was like, okay. And I usually didn't really buy them, so I was like, I definitely am looking forward to this game.
Yeah. So are you guys firmly in your seats?
Oh God.
I haven't played either of the Spider-Man games. I once again didn't have a PS4.
Just smile, Jose. Don't say it. Just smile.
I have it. I've like swung around in the first one. I was like, this is pretty cool. We had a PS4 in our living room, and I was like, wow, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm not saying they're bad games. They look like fun. I just never played them. So listen, I was too busy playing Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty, The Witcher games, Mass Effect, Dead Space. Those were the Fallout. Those were my games. I
like Fallout 2. I like Fallout 2.
I also like Fallout.
But yeah, so I never played Spider-Man, but this one looks good. It looks very good. I mean, they're all good. You know, it's all about the mechanics with this game.
Yes.
And as long as the mechanics, you know, it's I don't want to say like keep the mechanics the same. Like obviously, like always evolve the mechanics. But I think the web slinging is something that you really can't, like the feeling of what was that? It was like it makes you feel like a young black man. And you remember that when Miles Morales dropped.
The swagger of a young
swagger of a young black man, exactly. So like as long as like it immerses you mechanically, I think it should be fine. That's what it does. But obviously a longer playtime than Morales is important. Outside of a game you're supposed to play multiple games like a Resident Evil at different difficulties or something like that. A 10-hour playtime is unacceptable. So something longer than that is definitely massively important. Outside of that, have fun, guys.
I would say if you're a fan of immersion, I'm not gonna lie. This, like the Spider-Man games, made you feel like Spider-Man more than the Batman Arkham games made you feel like Batman. I'm gonna just that's my hot take. That's my hot take.
You're not wrong.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would definitely agree with that. I played all the Arkham games.
Yeah.
I played almost every iteration of Batman game there is, and I've never really felt like Batman.
Yeah,
because it's not really if I can put my DC cap on here, it's not really Batman in the Arkham games. It's over stylized to be Batman. Batman's very cold, cunning, like it's simple.
Detective.
Like his moves like are very limited. It's not like these like long contrived fights like amongst like 80
goons,
villains, you know,
80 little goons. That's like 120 combo.
Yeah, that's not what Batman is at the end of the day. So like I feel like if you want to actually feel like Batman, the Tales games. The Tales games of Batman, those make you feel like it because it's a lot more about quick actions, decisive actions, and just being genuinely detective. But yeah, no, I'm excited for you. We had something else from the PS4. What was it?
A big one. It's a big one. We are getting the remake.
No, the fucking oh no, we're not talking about the Wolverine game. Okay.
Well, yeah, we have a lot. We have that, but we have a lot.
Gotcha.
Another one. Mizu, were you gonna say something else about Spider-Man?
Oh no, never mind. I was gonna tell you something totally different, but let's continue.
I was gonna say, which I hope at least you get excited about this one, Nick, because it's not Wolverine. We have a remake of one of the best Star Wars games ever made.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic,
yep.
KOTOR, where Revan is coming back. Holy shit! I've been waiting since 2003 for a remake to be made. So this is
this was on Xbox.
Yes.
So I could play it.
Fair. I mean, I totally get that. I'm excited for this. Very. What about you guys?
Floor's yours.
Mizu, hold on,
bro. I'm just saying. You know how long I've been waiting for them to like remake this game? Because I was sitting here like, oh, okay. They made Battlefront, which was okay. But and I was
it was a cash grab.
Yeah, definitely a cash grab. And I was just like, okay, well, the bright side is if they made a Battlefront, there's a possibility they could redo Knights of the Old Republic. But no, it never came up. And then out of nowhere, we get a trailer for them to do it. And mind you, if you haven't played that game, I love how immersive and all the stuff you can do in that game. And that game came out in 2003. Now,
it was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time.
Exactly. Now it is 2021, and I'm assuming that the game will come out in 2022, 2023.
Probably, yeah.
So with that being said, can you imagine it being done today? That would be a game changer. Because the other game I can think of was Star Wars Old Republic, which is the online game. I played that, and it's not bad, but it could have been better in certain aspects. It feels like Elder Scrolls Online to a point.
Yeah.
But it's still I still recommend it. It's actually still worth it today to play it. But it wasn't the same as Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
So hearing that it's coming out with a new game, fantastic.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. The thing is, so it's a remake, right? So is it just a reskinning, or are they doing it like they did Final Fantasy VII, where there's a couple of different plot points?
We haven't gotten much since the release. What I have seen from is that it is a remake. So like I would rather them add a couple things because especially because of the way that they introduced Darth Revan, right, in 2003, and his legend has just grown and grown and grown.
He pulled a Starfreighter out of the sky.
Not only that, I would dare to say that as a story, Darth Revan's is cooler than Vader's. Like, bro, like Darth Revan succeeded multiple times, whereas Vader failed multiple times. Like,
fair.
Like, you have the friend issue with Darth Malik, which is also a banger of a villain too. So you have Darth Malik and Revan. Like, you have, like, for those of you that haven't played a game from 2003, this man like dies, resurrects, becomes a Jedi, then a Sith, then a Jedi. Like, Revan's story is glorious, and I want him as I want Keanu Reeves to play him at some point because he's awesome. And the big thing about this game to get people hyped up, right? Because some people are gonna be like, ew, reskin or a remake. This game takes place 4,000 years before the Skywalker saga. So like there's hundreds of Jedi, thousands of Sith. Like there's a major war. Like this is the first time that you're gonna see like events from like what Nick says is one of the best movies from the prequel trilogy. So that fight where you saw all those Jedi, you can see that with a lot of red lightsabers as well. Like that's gonna be elite. So I'm excited for that. I am beyond ecstatic to see a new generation of players get to play what we did, because I don't know about y'all, but playing Nick, did you play the original Battlefront games?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Battlefront 2? Like those games were like something otherworldly at that time. Like they lived leaps and bounds.
First person shooter comprehension, like being the droidicas with the wrist rockets and all of that, and the shotgun option, there was nothing better. It was just you and your buddies would load up on the same PS2, and you would see who could win. You'd both rock like 40 kills. And it was great. It was incredible. Whoever got droids won. The droids were the better team, if we're being entirely, because just being a droidica, you could wipe out like 5 people with your wrist rocket. But yeah, no, they were incredible games, and I'm excited to see it. I'm assuming, with it being a remake, it's going to be like Final Fantasy VII, where it's not just a reskin, you know?
Yes, that's what I'm hyped for. I'm beyond. I'm so happy, dude. I'm just so happy that like things are panning out for like gaming after a while. Because I don't know about y'all, but like
it's been a slump.
The past game year and a half has been like stale.
Recently.
It's been kind of stale.
Yeah.
Like since the Among Us craze in like a year and a half ago, like it's been kind of wild. It's crazy to think that was a year ago. But
that was a year ago, yeah.
The final announcement, if we don't have anything else to say about Star Wars, what are you gonna say, Mizu?
Oh no, I think you said final. I didn't get the Star Wars part. You said final announcement, because there's one more thing.
And it's a big one. It's a big one, because we are getting another Marvel game from Insomniac, and it is none other than Wolverine. Holy damn, that trailer was awesome. What did you guys think? First reactions.
First off, I love Wolverine as a hero because he's the only person that represents me. No goddamn heroes have body hair. No heroes have body hair. They're all goddamn Ken dolls, and I'm sick of it. Wolverine, he's got chest hair, he's got hairy legs, he's got beard. I love it. I love him. He's Canadian. He's one of Deadpool's worst enemies. He had his entire skeleton ripped out by the Hulk, and Hulk threw him to 2 opposite sides of the earth, and he still survived. He is one of my favorite heroes of all time. I love him. I'm hoping it's going to be a grittier, darker story, because Wolverine is very rarely involved in lighter. Like, so I don't want it to be, oh God, what do they call it in video games? T? I don't want to be rated T. I want
an
M.
M. Yeah.
M the whole way. Besides that, I mean, we didn't get a whole. It was more of a teaser trailer than anything. We didn't get. It was mostly cinematics, but we just do now know that we are going to get a Wolverine game. So I'm excited. What about you, Mizu?
I'm definitely down to see what they're going to do with this, because the last Wolverine-based game I played was the Wolverine Origins game.
I liked it.
That exists.
I didn't. It was okay for me, and I also played the not the PS4, the DS version of the game as well. And overall, it was an okay game, both of them. And
oh my God.
I'm wondering what they're going to do with this, because like Nick said, it's just a teaser trailer. So, but it did look very good, and I wonder what the combat style is going to be like. I wonder what the story is going to be, because there's so much you could do with Wolverine that could work out. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what they're going to do. I definitely want to see gameplay.
I would say I'm actually happy that you mentioned that, because I really liked the X-Men Origins Wolverine game. Like
I've never seen this game ever.
You would love it. Like if you see the montages, like the thing is, like obviously, like story-wise, X-Men Origins sucked.
Yeah, not great.
But the actual game makes you feel like the character, bro. There's literal combos where you can be like fighting somebody, and it's pretty violent. I think it was was it M-rated? I don't know. It had its fair amount of like blood, gore, violence. Yeah. But you could literally jump from like one mountain ridge to the other, like full on Hugh Jackman scream, and like literally impale someone like 30 feet, 50 feet away. Like that's how I would do my combos. Like I would literally mash somebody up, and if I saw somebody trying to like shoot me or something, I would literally jump up at them like 30 feet. And I was like, yo, this is
Insane.
banging. This is banging. So
That's
I'm
crazy.
excited. Another big thing that like some people were talking about is like this is the first time that we're getting a Wolverine game that's not associated with the X-Men like the X-Men
Movie franchise?
no the school Savior School for I forgot the full name of the school, but
Gifted children.
Gifted Children, yep.
yeah, so this apparently from what people were deducing through the scripture in the walls, he's in India. He's in Madripoor, I think. Madripoor is in India?
Madripoor is not in India.
No, my
Stone
bad.
Island.
I think it's around near Malaysia, Singapore.
Southeast
area.
Asia. My bad.
Southeast Asia.
My
yeah.
bad.
Polynesian
Yeah.
area.
Yes. So he is apparently in Madripoor, which is Liddy. Apologies. I'm excited because
It's okay. It doesn't exist. It's not a real place.
True.
Yeah.
True. But we get the possibility of having like the Wolverine villains come up. Like Sabretooth versus Wolverine would be pretty tight. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility of a Hulk tie-in, because they are always going at each other. But yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of possibilities with the game. Like I said, I'm excited. Not a whole lot to go off it though. What's going on, Jose?
Would you like to see sorry, my bad, Mizu. Would you guys like to see the old comic costumes though? Because we get that in the Insomniac Marvel game. Like, would you like to see like the old like blue and
I can
white?
guarantee
yellow?
you it'll be an option. I can
I
guarantee
hope
you
so.
it'll be exactly like
the
Star.
costume option, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't want it to be like the part of the main thing. Like
Okay,
I want it to be
no.
like a little Easter egg,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't want him wearing that shit all day.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Fair.
bright yellow, like
Blue.
blue ridiculousness. Yeah, no, I can guarantee you it'll be like essentially any first-person player, like single-player game nowadays where you have different armor sets and that you can customize. It'll probably be done exactly like the way they did Avengers. Avengers, you could be like it could be a bunch of different kind of Hulks. You could be a bunch of different kind of Thors. All of these kinds of things. So I'm assuming it'll be done similar to that. But yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be awesome. That's all we had. What was it, Mizu?
I was gonna say that I like how Marvel is getting into video games a lot more now, because like besides that,
lacking.
yeah, Marvel has mostly been on their movies and putting so much on their movies than their any other avenue. DC for a hot minute was lacking in movies, like mainstream like live action movies, but they made up for it in terms of animated movies, video games, TV shows. So, and I feel like Marvel is finally being like, you know what, okay, now we need to get a little bit more involved in this and caretaking that we're going to do our own TV shows. We're going to start doing more video games and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see more specific characters, like, you know, like how they're doing now with Spiderman. We're getting Wolverine. We're getting the Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see if, in my opinion, it'll be cool to see a cool Black Panther game, something similar to
Explore
with
Wakanda.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it would be cool, looking at it now too, it would be cool if we got like a Shang-Chi video game. Can you imagine if we had like a Shang-Chi based martial arts game? We play as him, where we're going through different things and we fight our way out there. I think that would be cool to see all that. But speaking of Shang-Chi, there has been some unfortunate news in terms for the movie. So if you haven't heard, Shang-Chi has been banned from China. As in, China will not be showing Shang-Chi in Chinese theaters at all. And there's an interesting reason why. So, little background, China has adopted this pan-Chinese ideology in a sense of everybody who is Chinese, both from the mainland or overseas, like who are like people who immigrated to other countries or people of Chinese descent, to a point, they're all seen as Chinese citizens almost, with the exception to a point with non-Chinese born, like China-born citizens. To them, they're more like spiritual citizens, but overall, they look at them all as Chinese. With that being said, they expect you to be respectful of China. Don't be saying stuff out the side of your mouth about China, things of that
Yeah.
nature, because they don't like that. A lot of Chinese born actors, like China, actors who were born in China, then immigrated to a different country. A lot of them have been getting flack, but for some of the stuff they've been saying. Um, with that
Oh
being
yeah.
said, I guess Simu Liu said something. The main actor who plays Shang-Chi, I guess some comments he said resurfaced back in like 2013-14, where he
Gotcha.
criticized
The
China,
Chinese government.
and the Chinese government did not like that.
Hmm.
And I guess also the Chinese people also did not like that. So because of his
Hmm.
comments, they are banning the movie from playing. Now, this all could change. You know, Marvel can go over there and
Do a
make
publicity tour.
publicity tour, make like a apology. Because funny enough, I did not know this until looking this up. They did a similar thing for Suicide Squad. Because apparently something happened with Suicide Squad where they almost got banned, but then they did like a publicity tour and even made John Cena the official person to like kind of like, wouldn't say like kind of apologized or to
Yeah.
the Chinese government. And yeah, but that kind of happened. And who knows, Marvel might do it. But the interesting thing is, some people speculate that they might not. And because
It's making enough money here.
yeah, Shang-Chi is doing enough, we're doing well enough numbers wise that they might not need the Chinese buffer. That,
Yeah.
because you get a lot of money when you're in the Chinese market in
Yeah. Oh
terms
yeah.
of movies.
Especially if you made a Chinese movie.
Exactly. So um, it might not get that buffer, but it all depends on what the future holds with that. But
Hmm.
I just thought that was interesting because a lot of people were speculating that it was going to be banned because but a lot of people didn't like I guess Chinese people did not like Simu Liu being cast because he doesn't look like what they want him to look like. I've been seeing that whole argument
I can
float
see that.
around and
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff, which is a very weird topic, a very touchy topic.
Yeah.
And of
He
course, another
doesn't
one
fit
was
the traditional Chinese beauty standard today. I'd say his beauty standard is much more Americanized than it is Chinese. If we're being entirely real.
yeah, but even then, like even that whole conversation, it's just like it's just really weird because I've been hearing a lot of people going back and forth on it, like.
Hmm.
But anyway, or it's not because of I heard another argument that a lot of Chinese China's not like how America perceives Chinese culture, which is
Hmm.
50-50 because I can see some of that happening in certain films, but there are others where
Oh, for sure.
they genuinely liked it. For which is funny enough because you brought up earlier, China absolutely loved Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
They loved every part of it to the point where the Chinese government was actually perplexed for a minute how well it represented the mythos of Chinese culture and mythology.
Yeah.
But and they wanted their films to be like that, which is funny. But that's a whole different story for a different day. But overall, yeah, unfortunately, Shang-Chi has been banned in China so far. Things might change. They might get unbanned. They might not. And if they stay banned, they might still do well, or they might not. It all depends.
Yeah, I was actually, like I said last night, I was watching this new game show that my girlfriend and her mom have like started to adore, and it's essentially all of these like kung fu guys and these like rock stars and these rappers and these actors essentially all come together. Like these are people who are in the waning part of their careers, and then they do these like performances that they have 2 weeks to choreograph. And one of the dudes, my girlfriend was explaining this to me, one of the dudes in one of the groups got caught having two girlfriends. So his entire performance, he's blurred out. He's blurred out. So she explained to me that it's like there's a guy on the piano. You can see there's a guy on the piano. You can hear him singing, but he's blurred out in the entire performance. So she explained to me that in China that the like people who are actors or public figures are held to a higher standard of moral compassry in order to have the best kind of people be the people that kids and everyone is looking up to. So having someone who was openly disregarding the Chinese government, I guess, could definitely lead to complications because you can't blur him out. He's the main character in the entire movie. That'd be dumb. But yeah, so different country, obviously. It did very good. I'd say if anything, it represents the American-born Chinese culture better than the true like actual Chinese centric culture than anything. So I guess if anything, it's hitting its target audience. But at the end of the day, that is very unfortunate because it's a great movie and more people should see it, and you'd want everyone to have access to great films. So that is unfortunate, but nothing we can do. Marvel can go over there and kiss some asses and shake some hands, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't get unbanned, then I mean, there's always ways to illegally watch things. You got anything to chip in there, Jose?
Not anything like that hasn't been covered. Honestly, like I, it's a shame because I think that's Shang-Chi is a really a staple movie. I would say in trying to exalt the storied involvement of Chinese actors and Chinese culture in Western media. So it's kind of unfortunate, but hey, we'll see how it goes. It's part of it. It's a part of the game. So hopefully Disney can make amends. Yeah. Besides that, the only thing I have left is obviously the trailer, right, for the Matrix. We got a trailer for that, which was pretty dope, honestly, if I will say so myself. I was sad that I didn't see Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, but we have learned
it's who is it now? It's
Abdul Mateen.
Yeah.
But like we've learned that Fishburne told New York Magazine that he's not involved in the project, so he's not gonna be in the movie. But Abdul Mateen has taken over his style, so I'll take it. I'll take it. We're seeing Neo and Trinity. What did you guys think of the trailer? Did it look good? Do you guys think it's gonna suck? What do you guys think?
I think it's gonna suck. I think here's the thing. We've gotten 2 sequels to Matrix and both of them were bad. And if I'm being real, this one looks cheesy and contrived. I like Neo's taking blue pills every day to keep himself from remembering the Matrix, and then he takes a red pill and he remembers the Matrix, and everyone from the original movies in there. Like, do you know me? Do I know you? Do we know each other? It looks like it's trying really hard. And I'm gonna see it, but I'm not promising I'll enjoy it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm in the 50-50 camp right now. Like, cause I can understand where Nick's coming from with that. It does feel a little like they're doing rehashments of the first Matrix in a way, because I see some stuff that's very similar to the first one. So they might be playing off. Going off of the trailer, it looks like they're playing off of nostalgia to a point. But I mean, you never know. However, I feel like it's gonna. I have a prediction that it's gonna do better than the sequels.
Okay.
But still not be as great. So
Fair.
it's gonna be one of those like it hits like it's not the best, but it hits the mark, and it might be most likely better than the sequels. But it all depends. And I hope one thing I really hope that they do kind of explain Morpheus, because he does look different. You're gonna have to possibly bring that up, like, hey, like this is not the same person. Maybe I don't know, because everybody else is aged. Morpheus hasn't aged, so I hope you can. I hope they.
If anything, he's gotten younger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how old.
So we still don't know. We still don't know if Abdul Mateen is Morpheus. Like, he's still unnamed so far. So like, I think he did take over the style. So, but that might just be an homage to Lawrence Fishburne. But
I think I'm pretty sure he is, because the actor did post on Instagram that he had a picture of himself and he said in capital letters Morpheus.
Okay. Bet then we got a younger Morpheus. That makes sense.
Holy fucking wait, hold up. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a deeper understanding of what's going on. With the Shang-Chi thing. Free Guy has done $67 billion in business there, according to Deadline.
What? With a B.
With a B. That might be a typo though.
Yeah, that seems to be a B.
It says, given what industry watchers view as mercurial actions by Chinese government and its film department, the backlash spurred by these comments would seem to end any chance of Shang-Chi as being one of the films approved for release in China in 2021. The last one, Free Guy, has done $67 billion in business there, according to Deadline.
Sheesh.
I think that's probably million.
That's most likely a typo. Yeah, it's mostly million.
Yeah, because that would be insanity.
That would be the
No.
highest grossing movie ever for a
Ever.
long period of time.
Imagine it's for a Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. That'd be good for them.
That would be hilarious. Like, can you imagine explaining that to yourself? Like, oh yeah, what's the highest grossing movie of all time? Free Guy.
Free Guy. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's
about
a video
Grand
game
Theft
based
Auto.
movie.
Yeah, that would be wild. Yo, gamers rise up. Okay, but I mean that's all we got for news, right, Jose?
That's all we got.
Cool. All right, guys. I have been Nixie Comedy on TikTok, NCHammer23 on YouTube and Twitch. I am trying to put out 3 YouTube videos a week. I just got a second YouTube editor, and so hopefully you both be churning out some YouTube content. So if you like what I do on TikTok, then go ahead and follow my YouTube. Jose, what's going on with you, buddy?
Damn, that's pretty dope. So I had a pretty slow week. Had some friends visiting, so that's gonna be fun. That was fun. But now we're back on the grind. I will be back to covering everything that happened last week in detail, especially all those glorious video games that we got announcements for,
Yes.
and the new What If episodes as well. So you can come check out my TikTok page at I'm Tropical Joe. Same thing with my Instagram. It is I'm Tropical Joe. That is conveniently where our Stack 'em Up polls will be held in my Instagram stories. So as soon as this is posted on YouTube and Spotify and everywhere else you consume your podcast, you will have a beautiful little poll to let us know what the best zombie movie of all time is. We have Zombieland, we have Shaun of the Dead, and then we have
Train to Busan.
Train to Busan.
And don't you forget it.
Train to Busan. Yes, amazing movies. But we all know who's gonna win. It's Shaun of the Dead. Besides that, I was gonna announce that we are officially this week starting our YouTube YouTube streams. I'm gonna be streaming on YouTube now. Just finished
Officially starting like you didn't used to do it.
Yeah, officially restarting.
Restarting.
Because life decides to work this way.
Because he thinks he's Tim the Tap Man.
No, I don't think I'm Tim the Tap Man. I'm thinking that people will eventually like me on there. So I'm doing that there. It is Tropical Joe. But I mean, just search Tropical Joe anywhere and you will be able to find me. Mizu, let the people know where they can find you. Send us home.
You guys can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. No big plans for me so far. Just more content both on Instagram and TikTok. I will be planning on doing an understanding of the Ochia coup d'etat, which specifically what did that entails, what were they were going to do, what was the plan, and what was the backup plan, which I feel like a lot of people don't know about enough. So I want to let y'all know that. Besides that, that's all.
Cool, guys. I just want to leave you with one final message. Fugaku would have killed Naruto if he had the chance. He would have used him.
No,
he
he
used the
wouldn't
Nine Tails, and he would have launched the coup d'etat.
I don't
Okay,
think he
lovely
would've.
guys. Kick it to the outro.